So, Rule 26. Oh, let me tell you, lawyers do not see this number here, 26. Keep this number in mind because this number is not the first number you see when lawyers start practicing litigation. Why? Because lawyers can't count. Simple. Okay, so Rule 26, initial disclosures, discovery scope and limits. Proportionality, as we mentioned, that's the overarching rubric that we're going to be using. Non-privileged, that means not connected with an attorney in some way or not confidential, if you want to look at it that way as well. ESI, that's electronically stored information that is relevant evidence or could lead to relevant evidence. And it's could reasonably lead to relevant evidence. And as Judge Shinlin said yesterday, that's a very, very broad ambit. You can basically look for what you need almost anywhere using almost anything if you can show that it could lead to relevant evidence. It has to be non-duplicative, can't do it over and over again, and it can't be excessively burdensome. So, Rule 26, first thing that happens is that the lawyers on both sides have to what's called meet and confer. And the attorneys for both parties have to do this before starting discovery. And they have to discuss any issues about the disclosure or discovery of electronically stored information. They have to talk about scheduling as well. They have to talk about motions and dispositive motions and motions for summary judgment, all this boring stuff you don't have to know about. But 26F3, you have to talk about context. And that's what we're going to be talking about here. It's the context of electronically stored information discovery that will implicate everything you do every day. So, meet and confer. Typically, I and a growing number of my colleagues will have a technology expert present to discuss discovery context. I'll basically ask about general questions about your ERM program. I basically want to know where stuff is, how it's been maintained, and who is the custodian for the stuff. Stuff being ESI, but I like saying stuff better. So your counsel hopefully will have a tech expert present, and that might be you, to help discuss discovery context. You're not going to be talking about confidential information without some sort of confidentiality agreement or protective order. You're not going to be talking about the evidence itself, but you're going to be talking about where it is, how it's going to be preserved, how you might talk about formatting issues, very, very preliminary issues that you're going to want to know about, and that will happen during your meet and confer. This will be my first opportunity to negotiate. You're going to see this word negotiate a lot because unlike what most attorneys will do these days, discovery in the 26F, the 26F through meet and confer is designed to ensure a cooperative process between the parties. And when I say cooperative, I mean cooperative because if you don't cooperate in the discovery process, there are severe sanctions that a court can impose for failure to do so. So the idea is cooperation with a view towards process transparency. And if the process can be transparent, if you can make the process transparent, you can make your process defensible. And this is not part of this slide, but understand that discovery and production does not have to be perfect. There is no such thing as perfection in my profession. You know, there are wins, and the wins usually will come with scars and scabs. Or there are losses, and the losses sometimes will come with silver linings. But the idea is that discovery is not a perfect process, just like how many of you are also involved in information security at all? Nice. It's like information security. Is it a goal or a process? Do you ever really say, I am now secure? Maybe for 25 seconds, right? So understand that they kind of walk in lockstep here. So this will be my first opportunity to negotiate e-discovery to ensure production transparency. If your counsel is on his or her game, they will be coming into this meeting in the same idea, with the same ideas, and that is to negotiate e-discovery. What do I mean by negotiate? It'll be my first opportunity to learn about your ERM program, and you haven't produced a thing yet. But we can now enter a contractual agreement called a stipulation to outline the context of electronic discovery. So Rule 29, parties can agree to limit or expand the scope of discovery. What? You mean you can limit discovery? Of course you can. Of course. If you have backups that span 25 years and keep writing suicide notes, you can basically say, well, look, the relevant time period is only 5 years. Those 20 years of backups have absolutely no relevance. I don't want to see them. I don't care about them. And your lawyer should be making sure that that's put down in writing. Why? Because it makes good sense, it's good lawyering, and it protects your enterprise. And it also lowers your cost.